We're going to talk hair. We're going to be talking about your favorite topic, breakouts, which we'll have a conversation. That should not be your favorite topic, but
I know.
it's okay. We're going to fix all of the things today. Shaving gel. You need some lubrication. Really allow those blades to do the work instead of irritating the skin and shaving it so closely. Hey, I don't have to do as much to my skin. I don't have to wash it. I don't have to moisturize it. I didn't have to shave it or do any of those things. But guess what? Your skin's still there, and you still need to go back to those core principles of taking care of your skin. So you want to just make sure you're cleansing that area and taking care of the skin and using the various acne ingredients, benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid, retinoids. Again, if you're still struggling, then we got to move up to the advanced and see your dermatologist.
And this could be a great solution.
It's all these little things, little tips and tricks.
Welcome, everyone, back to Skin Goals. I'm your host, Lisa Avalos.
Hey, and I'm Kelly Sitler, and we're diving back into the world of men's skincare today. Are you excited for it?
Yes. If you haven't seen our last episode, we did Men's Skincare 101, and we're going to go into some other topics today.
Yes. Yeah, I'm ready for it. A little shaving action, little getting into the beard and having fun with that.
And my favorite topic, breakouts. So we'll be covering that too.
And he's back. And we're excited he's back. So I have board certified dermatologist and our L'Oreal dermatological beauty consultant today, Dr. Aaron Farberg. Welcome again.
So excited for Skincare 102. We're going to talk hair. We're going to be talking about your favorite topic, breakouts, which we'll have a conversation. That should not be your favorite topic, but
I know.
It's okay. We're going to fix all of the things today.
Amazing. Fix us up, Doc.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Thanks again for having me. We're going to have some fun today.
You can get into it right away, yeah? Shaving.
Yeah, shaving, beards. Yes. How do you feel about all that? You have to...
I do hate having to clean up the shavings. I'll tell you that much. That's the one thing that I do experience.
Yeah.
My husband's pretty good at it, Mark. He's actually he does his best to, give a little zhuzh after, but I feel like that's his. I don't even really pay attention to his shaving routine though. Maybe I should. So
I'm glad that you're bringing your husband into this one, right? He's the famous guy here. And so, so does he have a beard? Are we talking beards here?
You know what? I love a man in a beard. So
there you have it.
That's going to be a topic today.
He's gone back and forth, he sometimes has just the stubble, but then when he has a big meeting, we go through vacation and there's no shaving, but then when he has some big meeting on that Monday, it's I gotta, get to town shaving. So.
Yep. No, I agree. I didn't shave first thing this morning either because I knew what the topic was going to be. And so, hey, I'm dressed and ready to go. And your husband and all of us guys, that is kind of how we behave. Sometimes it's for efficiency that we're just not going to shave and we don't want to. Oftentimes it's actually irritation. And of course, there's different things that we can talk about and do to diminish some of that irritation. But I know we'll get into that in a little bit later.
Yeah, love it.
And that's how we're going to kick off. Let's start talking about shaving. One of men's biggest concerns is the effects that, like you mentioned, that you get after shaving. Even as a woman shaving, I get effects as well, like ingrown hairs. How do we minimize that irritation?
Let's just start with the basics, okay? Again, guys, I know you already know this, but hey, sometimes it's good to hear it again as to how you should be shaving. First, start with a new, nice, clean razor. Not the one that you've been using for many, many years, or one that you found in the shower, or you pull your drawer open and it's hidden in the back there. Oh, that one will do. No, you need to use a clean instrument, just like when you're doing surgery. Same sort of idea. And then you want to be shaving with the hair, all right? With the grain, not against it. I get it. That gets it a little bit smoother, but that's what leads to all the irritation and ingrown hair. So go with the hair growth as well. And then let's think about other things like shaving gel. You need some lubrication. Really allow those blades to do the work instead of irritating the skin and shaving it so closely. And then, of course, we'll touch on the gentle skincare. You got to have clean skin. Don't forget your gentle cleanser, moisturize, your aftershaves and gels and things like that. So, us guys, we need to give a little TLC to our shaving behaviors here.
Does it help to have like warm water, cold water?
Good point. So if you can prepare the skin with some warmer water, that kind of opens up the pores and really hydrates the skin a bit. And so that's the ideal time. Often we'll shave in the shower, and that's a great place to be doing this. And then afterwards, here's a little trick. Snap cold. Get some cold water and use that. It kind of closes up the pores, also decreases the inflammation just from any irritation that you did cause. So yeah, a little hot water, a little cold water.
So
Very helpful.
Those are really good tips. And I feel like immediately, the hot and cold, I never thought of that before, but it's a lot, even like hair, like you can do the same thing.
Cuticles.
Your cuticles. Yeah, exactly. But it's different for pores. It's like, different.
And a pore that has hair is probably thicker.
Well, I mean, there's just, you have a hair follicle there. So again, and you're shaving it. And so now you have this opening there. And that leads to bacteria and fungus that can get inside there. And that all leads to additional irritation. So yeah, it's the little things that matter. And they really do have an impact on our skin.
Yeah, I know this is about men, but now I'm like, maybe I need to change my razor blade. Never thought of that. Yes, yeah.
So let's say
You can always just borrow your husband's too. I'm just saying.
He might be more on top of it than me.
I know you were borrowing a lot of his products and vice versa. So,
It's
be careful.
Give and take.
give and take. New razor blades for everyone.
Yeah.
Right. So if someone does get an ingrown hair from shaving, what do we do afterwards? Like it's already formed, it's there. Some people are more prone to it, so it might happen even if they tried their best. Any, skincare ingredients that kind of help with that ingrown hair?
Ingrown hairs, oh my gosh, the bane of everyone's shaving existence.
Seriously.
First of all, don't pick at it. That's like the number one dermatologist rule in life after wearing your sunscreen is don't pick. Now, I still believe everyone's a picker at some point, and so it's just where you are on that threshold. But when you pick and you try to pull that out, you're causing a lot of trauma to the skin and, the potential of an infection, and you're going to have scarring potentially. If you can avoid that, please try to do it. But, I'll admit once in a while, even I have, picked an ingrown hair out. So, it's okay once in a while. But things like warm compresses really go a long way. If you can also use some like benzoyl peroxide or salicylic acid, these are ingredients that you find in a lot of the over-the-counter acne skincare lines. And so you can use that to really help exfoliate or, just another gentle exfoliator as well to help with these ingrown hairs. And just remember, if you're still struggling, come to your dermatologist. Your board-certified dermatologist has a whole bunch of different tricks and other lotions that they can consider to help your unique specific skin.
Especially if you're maybe someone who is getting consistent ingrown hairs or something like that, like maybe it's a really good idea to.
And they won't anymore because they listened to us earlier. Skincare 102, how you're going to be shaving, with the grain. You have your new razor, so it should minimize now. But
You're using a salicylic acid, exfoliating.
you guys, you're getting an A+ so far.
Thank you very much, Dr. Farberg. So moving into beards, essential care tips for the facial hair or the facial skin underneath the hair, or what should we be doing? What should men be doing?
This is great because if you passed 101, you're going to pass skincare 102. Oftentimes when men are growing beards, it's because of they're being more efficient. See, I didn't say they're being lazy, but they're just being a little more efficient. Hey, I don't have to do as much to my skin. I don't have to wash it. I don't have to moisturize it. I didn't have to shave it or do any of those things.
I'm not getting ingrown hairs, irritation.
You name it. But guess what? Your skin's still there. And you still need to go back to those core principles of taking care of your skin. And then also think about, hey, how I can take care of the hair. So things like beard oils, making sure that everything is trimmed appropriately so it's not rubbing and irritating on the skin. But those core principles of, a gentle cleanser, you want to clean the skin underneath, exfoliate, right, underneath, add that. That's a little more advanced, but you should be doing that too. A moisturizer after you do all those things. And yeah, even though you have hair there, you can still get a little sunlight. So adding in some nice sunscreen underneath that all, again, it goes back to taking care of the skin underneath it as well.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be a tricky one, right? The sunscreen and hair, I'm kind of thinking. So it's like finding the right one that feels good. Maybe something that ultra lightweight or like one of those water lightweight formulas might be nice.
Try them all. Everyone's different. Come to us, see us at the office, and get a whole bunch of samples, or steal from your husband or wife.
We have the variety, so let's do it. Yeah, absolutely. Is there? We were saying like having the beard, it can contribute to acne. Any additional grooming habits that could help? I mean, like you named them, but
yeah. Well, it's again, making sure that you're taking care of the skin underneath, utilizing things like an exfoliator, your moisturizer. With all that hair, you might have a little bit more oily skin, or you might even be applying that beard oil, and that, of course, is getting down to the skin. So you want to make sure that your moisturizer is oil-free, right? And you're washing it and you're exfoliating it. You just because you have a beard, you don't want to not tend to it and not care about it, and also take care of the skin below it as well. That's
because maybe you have acne in there. It might be bothersome too, and that's how to resolve that issue.
Exactly. So you want to just make sure you're cleansing that area and taking care of the skin and using the various acne ingredients that, I know we've talked about before, but, things like benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid, retinoids can also be very helpful, and those are available over the counter. And again, if you're still struggling, then, we got to move up to, the advanced and see your dermatologist.
So a lot of men struggle with oily skin and breakouts. We were talking about on the other episode, tune into that one, about that thicker skin, maybe being a little bit more oily, and those breakouts, especially after shaving. Is there any practical solutions or product recommendations that you have?
I would say, if you're still having breakouts after some of the shaving, First, try some of the basics, the salicylic acid, an exfoliator, glycolic wash, even some benzoyl peroxide to really help turn over that skin. And then also don't forget like an aftershave lotion that helps and soothes the skin afterwards. If we're still struggling, that's probably when you got to see somebody like me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it comes in different forms, right? Like salicylic could come in a facial wash, or it could come in a serum, or any different ways and vehicles.
It's just like I, said on the last episode, it's like baking a cake. Some people like the gel, some people like lotion, some people like liquids, and it's whatever flavor you want that works best for you. And of course, it might just be different from person to person. If they have thicker, more coarse hair, perhaps, liquid will be easier to get into that area. People like foams, and some people think, oh, they're just so messy, I would never use a foam. And so this is the beauty of this sort of treatment, is that it's whichever one you like best.
Yeah. I have a follow-up question on that. So what if a man is very oily? What do they still use a moisturizer? How does that work?
And it starts with cleansing and getting rid of a lot of that oil initially, and then adding in a gentle moisturizer. And oftentimes with those men, I'll recommend and make sure that they don't have an oil at all in that moisturizer. There are certain oils that you can have mixed in with various moisturizers. Tea tree oil is a very common one that can be very soothing, and some people can tolerate it and need that little extra dose of oil, and other people don't. And so, yeah, that's how I would approach it.
Also, like a mattifying, there's all sorts of different formulas and different ways you can moisturize.
That is a really great idea. Looking at there's a number of moisturizers that are for, more, it's less reflective, let's say that, right? So with the cameras watching us, you don't want that oil reflecting off. So if you have a matte moisturizer, I think those work really well. And it's not just for doing a podcast, it's for your daily life.
Mm-hmm.
You're literally triggering me because the other day we interviewed one of our Vichy marketing partners, and he was talking about this Vichy sorbet mineral 89, and it's like it has a cooling effect because I hear you kind of saying that like that could be really nice as well, like something
Cooling,
that
Sounds
water-based.
great. Oh my
doesn't
gosh.
it?
Well,
Like
and it's also, it comes down to an experience. You want to make sure that you're enjoying this, that it feels good, because otherwise you're not going to do it. You're only going to do things that you enjoy, and also you can get into a routine. So that's another important aspect that I always, try to explain to my patients is that, develop this routine and then stick to it. Most people, I mean, think about when you get your gym membership on January 1st. How many people stick with it?
Yeah.
If you stick with it for a long enough time, then it just becomes incorporated into what your daily life really is. And that's when the success really begins.
Yeah, it's like really making it like a self-care, like a ritual for yourself. Like I was listening to a podcast the other day about ritual, like how we can ritualize things in our lives, and it's so brings meaning to what you're doing, like taking care of yourself and like making that into, like maybe these are the items that you use, or these are the products you use while you're doing your ritual of shaving and taking care of yourself. So
it's human behavior, and there's a science behind it. And we've got science behind all of our skincare. So let's get it into everyone's routines.
Yeah, love that. We've been talking a lot about facial acne. What about body acne? How do we treat that?
The famous acne.
Yeah,
oh my
acne.
goodness.
that's
This
the one
is
I want to
tough.
know about, honestly, because it's a tough one.
Really? And think about it. There's a lot of skin there. And then what are you going to do? How do you apply all these things? It can be tough. And so I'll usually say, let's start with products that you can use in the shower. Washes like with benzoyl peroxide and salicylic acid. Exfoliators, incorporate that into your daily shower. Also think about, the clothing that you wear. If you're sweating, whether you're in the office or you're walking to and from your office and the subway and all that, the gym, you want to wear cooler clothing that really kind of helps wick away a lot of that sweat. Now, again, we're still going to sweat. We're human beings, we're animals. So what do we do then? We want to make sure we cleanse ourselves as often as we can. Now, are you going to be able to take a shower every time? Probably not. But then I say, hey, get some wipes. You women know it. It's these makeup wipes. You don't have to use water. You can use one of those wipes and you can just kind of wipe off a lot of the dirt, oil, sweat that you just produced. And that can have a huge impact. And of course, you can use topicals as well. You can use retinoids on the chest and the back, and those work really well. If you can get somebody to do that, then yeah, it's quite impactful. And we also have prescriptions, of course, that can really help, including oral antibiotics and prescription retinoids as well.
Mm-hmm. You really were making me think, like, because you are so busy after working out, or like you don't always get a shower. Like my husband and I were actually off last week, and we were like, we're going to work out every single day because we're off, like, and we can actually take care of ourselves, like, but like dads are super busy too. So like you may not always be able to get a shower.
I think of teenagers too. I used to teach, and they're running from practice to doing homework, and they might not have that time to hop in the shower in between.
You wouldn't necessarily get a shower in 7th grade, like after your track meet or whatever it is.
Oh my gosh, a 7th grader, you're going to have to just hose them down outside. No, keep the wipes and just put them right there in your glove box, the side door, and
gym bag.
And exactly, the gym bag. They're light, easy to do. That's totally the way. I would do it and help these kids out for sure.
And I love the idea of like having just like a cleanser with the benzoyl peroxide, right? Salicylic acid in the shower, like just making that a part of your routine. So
CeraVe has a lot of great body washes.
Yeah, absolutely.
With those ingredients. Yeah.
I feel like I am making a list of what I'm doing. Truly. And another part of the list, I suppose, is really talking about anti-aging. Are there any simple steps that men can take to really maintain that youthful looking skin? Obviously there's skincare products. Is there more to it, like lifestyle, sleep, those things?
Of course. Well, and I'm glad you even mentioned it, right? You started with sleep, and guys, it's hard to hear this, but a healthy lifestyle really does impact everything. Yes, stress plays a part in literally everything. And unfortunately, our insurance companies aren't going to cover a vacation to Miami. So you have to make it a priority for yourself. And it is things like having a healthy diet, including fruits and vegetables. It's drinking water. I know us guys, we don't like to always drink a lot of water, but you got to do all that. And most importantly, I mean, here we are in New York, New Jersey, New York, the city that never sleeps. That's not good for your skin. And I tell you, when I lived here in Manhattan, oh my goodness, I feel like even though I was there for 4 years, I aged maybe 40 years. So you need sleep, get some. But beyond that, of course, there's lots of fun topical things that we can do to help with your skin. I think the tried and true one, retinoids, everyone knows what those are. And that's because they work and they really do help with your overall skin turnover, their tone, texture, and wrinkles. Everyone's, trying to get rid of those. There are topical things that you can do. Of course, just taking good care of your skin, but the lifestyle really plays a big part in it.
Yeah. In our last episode, we were talking about retinol acclimating to it, kind of like taking it slow at first. But I also noticed that like the guys in my life who do use retinol, they actually use usually maybe a higher percentage than what I use. Like I can't get above like a 0.25. Like it's so, I get so dry. Like, so is it true that like men may be able to tolerate a little higher?
Of course, yeah. We have thicker skin. It's often more oily. Maybe we're not cleansing it as well as you are either. I mean, there's all the reasons, but for the most part, I think men's skin can often tolerate greater percentages or greater potencies of various ingredients, and retinoids are absolutely one of those. Now, again, that's just sort of a blanket generalization. I have many male patients that also can't even tolerate a prescription version of a retinoid. And so, there are, different things you can do to really help improve your tolerability, making sure that you've washed your skin, you've washed your face beforehand, patted it dry, and given it about 15, 20 minutes to really sort of actually get dry, and then apply your retinoid. You can also sandwich it between some moisturizer. Use a moisturizer before, then do the retinoid, and you can even add and follow up with even more moisturizer afterwards.
Yeah, I think men like to sandwich it.
We all love sandwiches, absolutely, yes.
Who just love a little sandwich? You get a little moisturizer before, retinol, moisturizer after.
Gosh, yeah. Oh my God. Even my daughter, she came in and she finally made me a sandwich, and she's only 5 years old. Aww. But of course, it was a piece of raisin bread toast with a big slice of cheese, and said, "Dad, I made this for you." And it was a very proud dad moment. Yes. Oh, she sat there and watched me. Are you going to eat this? And yes.
Yeah.
Every bite.
That is so sweet. I love that. That like literally like. When kids are making, the food, it's just adorable, like, especially for their dad.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So sandwich your retinoid. Perfect. Also, I have a question about retinoids, just for the people out there that might be interested in starting using them. What about sunscreen and retinoids? How are they correlated?
Good point, right? So, retinoids can make your skin a little bit more sensitive to the sun. Now, that doesn't matter because you're already wearing your sunscreen every day, right? Good. See? But for those of us that aren't, it's a nice reminder that, yes, you should be utilizing sunscreen. And you might even have to increase the SPF. Even people with darker skin tones that, hey, look, I've got darker skin. Maybe I'm not wearing as much sunscreen, or I need a higher SPF. Guess what? Those darker skin tones can also burn, particularly when they're using retinoids. And so, really think, utilizing, of course, and then maybe even increasing the SPF. As a dermatologist, we know SPF 30, that's really what's protective. The SPF 30 protects us from skin cancer. But as a study that I even did and published showing that if you have a higher SPF, it actually gives you a margin of safety. For those of us that don't reapply it, it's still working by the end of the day. And most of us don't put on as much sunscreen as we should be putting
it on correctly. So it gives you a little margin of
Exactly. Error. Not promoting to, not put on the right amount and reapply, but let's be honest, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so many facts in this episode. I'm going to have to watch it, I think, 2 or 3 times. And my ADHD brain, because I'm going to be like writing down, I'm like, talk to Mark about this, talk to Mark about that. Like, there's so many things. I even want to like, I feel like when I get home, I'm going to look at his beard and be like, are you shaving in the right direction? Like, because like, does your beard here, like it goes and grows in maybe this direction or that direction? It might be a little bit more complicated.
You're going to be that creeper in the bathroom that's just watching and saying, like, is that how you do that? Well, yeah, we should probably do like a whole YouTube series now where, you know, we actually have videos to show people the proper ways.
Yes,
we can do
yes.
that, so.
Insert YouTube video of the proper
Shaving
method
technique.
here.
Yeah.
These are all the best ideas. Let's do it.
I'm definitely gathering a lot. Anything that you're really taking with you?
Yeah, I really love the whole solutions for a busy, you know, we're all busy. So I love the wipe idea of, you know, throw it in your bag. That's going to help clear up things because it gets frustrating too. Like maybe you are washing in the shower and then you're still having the issue. And this could be a great solution.
Yep. It's all these little things, little tips and tricks.
Definitely like for the gym bag for young men and, you know, like it's just like throw it in there, have it readily available. Like
Particularly the young men that are a little, you know, they're just not as outspoken in trying to figure out their skin. And then they start doing all this trial and error. I hope they were all listening and, you know, go out and buy some of those products and incorporate it into your daily skin regimen. You'll see a huge improvement. I mean, I went through it too. Good old teenage years. Wouldn't we all want to go back to those, to that age?
confusing time period for sure. And you may not even mention it. Like it may be bothering you and you may not be saying anything about it, but, you know, so it's really nice to have you talk a little bit about it and give us some solutions. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Aaron.
Thank you for being here.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for having me. Let's do this again.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm done.
And thank you all for watching. You can catch us on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcast, as well as all your social medias, Instagram, TikTok, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, everyone. I am Dakota Pierkowski, a senior scientist at L'Oreal Research and Innovation and a member of the Men at L'Oreal leadership team. Men at L'Oreal is an employee research group comprised of over 250 individuals across 7 states in the U.S. We work internally to help foster community building and networking through quarterly in-person social connects and partner with talent acquisition to recruit male-identifying talent. We regularly engage with the broader community by sponsoring and facilitating outreach events such as a men's professional clothing drive, golf outing for mental health, and a charity dinner for men's health. In addition to helping generate donations for charitable causes such as the Movember Foundation and St. Baldrick's Foundation. Our vision is to foster a supportive professional community for male-identifying employees and allies by making coming to work a welcoming, rewarding, and inspirational experience through our mission of driving impactful activations around men's beauty standards, men's wellness needs, and the evolving views of masculinity. We welcome L'Oreal employees across the U.S. to join Men at L'Oreal and encourage partnerships with external community members and groups. Today, Men at L'Oreal is proud to sponsor this episode of the Skin Goals podcast with Dr. Aaron Farberg to support our mission of driving activations that provide education and support around men's wellness needs.